David, yes?
Yeah, much better. You're maintaining your height now. You see your center of gravity is a much more constant position right now. So let's really see you move back and sit into that right knee and resist there. Good, Nick. Starting to build up a lot more torque in the golf swing now and retaining the lag. That's what I want to see. Really retaining that angle, retaining the lag there so you can create more body rotational speed as opposed to flash speed.
What about my legs? Are they looking better?
Much better. You see they're separating there. You're actually feeling almost like your upper body's in a position where you can hit it there, and centrifugal force now is more involved in you hitting the golf ball.
You get a bit more zip to it now, yeah.
Much better, much better. Very good there. Delayed the angle really well on that one there. You could see how you sustained it, held it off there, and the resistance and the torque are far greater at this point in time. Good. Got the swing nicely in a position where it looks slightly laid off, which is good, Nick. Super shot that.
Hi there, and welcome to this golf instructional program brought to you by Audemars Piguet. Now the main theme of this video is to help improve your game by showing you how to recognize and correct your faults. And once again, I'm joined by David Ledbetter to help me do this. Last time we worked mainly on the basics. In this one we will recap on those, then concentrate on many of the most common faults and give you some guidance on how to correct them. Now it's impossible for me to see you, so we would recommend you watch through each section and hopefully find a particular aspect that applies to your game. So without further ado, let's get to work. Right, I think it's very important now we start back, go back a stage or two and come back to the basics, because they are so important with the game. We must concentrate on these, and I feel that if you can work on these and study it, what you see I'm doing, if you're fortunate enough to have a video and you're able to put yourself on film for a few shots and then put my video on and then come back and see if you compare a few of the positions, because it's something that David and I, or certainly David has stressed to me ever since I started working with him, that my basics, certainly my grip, my alignment and my posture are really key to my game, so they're certainly going to be key to yours. So let's start back with the grip again. And one way to make life a little easier for you to obtain the grip is you notice how your arms hang in this natural position. So if you can take your grip by placing the club at an angle here, then you can then apply your left hand to the grip like so, and it's more comfortable. It's more like a more natural position as where the arms are turned in. So grip him there, and as you can see, the thumb now is to the right of center, and that's a good position. You can see the V here is heading somewhere towards your neck or your right shoulder. And that gives you a good, solid, neutral grip. And the club face, of course, is square. Then you simply apply your right hand. I use the Varden grip with the baby finger slots in there. But the important thing is to get the two palms of your hands facing each other so they unite together. And then we have like the trigger effect with this finger here. And that gets it nice and comfortable. So there's a grip. And the most important thing is, of course, it's nice and relaxed. I mean, so many people ask you how hard you grip the club. Well, it's in there firm enough. You can't take it out of my hand, but of course I can do this. I've got to have a nice, relaxed wrists and arms, so I've got plenty of mobility. Now remember, the club goes diagonally through the hand into your palm, but the most important thing is to keep that pressure nice and even. Moving on to alignment and posture. So let's take up my stance and everything again, and then off we go. Now it's no use working on the swing if we haven't got this correct. This really is one of the keys to your golf, and when I bring David in now, we're going to show you that the bad positions that you get into with your posture and what that creates throughout the swing.
One of the things I see constantly with amateurs, Nick, is that they tend to line themselves up way to the right. And from there, certainly you're going to be compensated.
Yeah, I think I've seen this as well. Obviously, I play with a lot of amateurs in pro-ams, and what they do is they would aim too much to the right. Automatically, you start thinking, well, now there's the target. So your shoulder plane now has to obviously open up, which automatically pushes the weight onto your left foot. So you can see how unbalanced they are to start off with. And then from this position, it's very difficult with the weight on this side to get wide on the backswing, so it gets a little steep here. Again, the subconscious tells them this is the direction to the target, so they come over the top. This angle remains the same, and they hit down on it. And what happens is, if you approach that swing with a shut club face, that's going to produce the big hook. So I'll show you one of those there, and a familiar sound of it hitting the trees. And obviously if you do the same swing, but if you have an open club face, coming over the top and staying here, it's going to produce that big slice. So David, what have they now got to do to get themselves back into the right position?
Well, obviously the first thing we have to do is start at setup and get ourselves, or get the amateur to set himself up where he's parallel left of the target, and so from there on he can start to make a good swing, because certainly with the shoulders left and part of his body to the right, his divot, as yours was, is looking to the left, isn't it?
It's heading left. And the hardest thing for them is when they now square up their stance, because they've been so used to having this weight on the left side, they've really got to have the feeling of loading up the right knee, as we would call it, moving your weight to the right side. And you can see automatically by doing that, I'm now getting myself in a much better position. From this early position, you can see the shoulder line. Now I've now got the correct shoulder position with my left shoulder slightly higher than the right.
That's it. So now we've got sort of our knees and our hips and our shoulders all on line here, rather than having one part in one direction and the other part in another. So that's a very good start there. So from there, you're going to certainly make a much better directional move away from the ball rather than swing it way inside. So let's swing it back there to the top there. Good. Some good width there, good turn. The back is nicely behind the ball now. We can see the weight is now where? On your right side.
Well, weight onto my right knee. That's the important thing. You've got to get the feeling of this weight moving over to this right knee. That's so important. There.
Good. Now from here we can start to release the club by allowing our right arm to straighten out here as the left shoulder starts to move up very slightly there. We can see the left shoulder moves up before it moves around, and this is the big thing, the right arm straightening, rather than, as we see with the person who comes outside in, this angle stays here for too long a period of time.
Yeah, I think you want to get the feeling of, the one arm swing is a great exercise. Once you've got yourself correctly aligned, see how lovely and wide that is up there, and as you start down, this club automatically, through the weight of it, is going to separate away. What we call the distance between the right hand and the right shoulder is getting greater all the time. But also, for the advanced golfer, you want to maintain this set position of the wrist. We don't want to get that old feeling of the casting effect. That's out, because you can see what happens as you come down. The club is automatically going left again. But that's taking one thing a little bit further. So separate there and then release him. Now you've got him in the correct position, and you can release it all the way through for the first time and keep the whole of the right side going round and getting your belt buckle facing your target. So let me hit one there. Weight on the right side, really get nice and wide and separate this arm here. Here's a very simple and effective exercise. Remember earlier on we talked about how we wanted to get this separation between the right shoulder and the right hand coming down. We'll simply just swing it one arm and just clip the top of the grass. Just a few times. I use this a lot on the golf course. Gets the feeling of the release going, and then when you get a little bit more adventurous, try and hit one off a tee peg. You'll probably find this pretty difficult to start with. I certainly did. You'll hit a few hooks left, but then once you get the feel of where this right hand is and the club face is through impact, and hit a nice straight shot. There we go, that's not bad. So just try that a few times. Certainly on the golf course it's going to promote a lovely release and get you going and get some acceleration to your swing. David, did you manage to spot anything wrong with that one?